Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Dr. Alessandro, and in today's video we're going to be talking about sealants. Now, what are sealants? That's a great question that I hear from some parents. Sealants are meant to be a protective covering for typically adult molars, that is permanent teeth molars. Now, if somebody happens to have a higher rate of decay, higher risk of getting cavities, then sometimes that can be done on premolars as well, and extremely rarely on a primary or baby tooth molar if there is no premolar to replace it. So there are a couple of other circumstances that can come in to put them on teeth other than your typical adult molars. So why do sealants? What does that do? Well, in a second, I'm going to show you a picture of a micrograph of a tooth, and the micrograph of the tooth will show what these are. There are little grooves here that you can see in all of these adult molars. Well, they're pretty wide and easy to clean on this model, but as you can see in this picture of the tooth, the grooves can be very, very narrow and very tortuous. And the picture is showing a groove, and it's showing a toothbrush bristle, which is going towards the groove, but it can't get into the depth of the groove. So if a toothbrush bristle can't get to the depth of the groove, then food piles up there, and so do bacteria, and then cavities start. You could brush 5 times a day and it wouldn't matter. You'd still get a cavity in that spot. So not only am I explaining what a sealant is, which, like I said, it's a protective covering. Think of it as, say, when you're sealing your driveway. The same thing. You're trying to eliminate cracks and crevices and make sure that water and everything else kind of flows right off of it. Same thing for a sealant. You're trying to seal over all these cracks and crevices, keep bacteria out of the grooves, and let food kind of just wash over the tooth instead of kind of sticking into the tooth. So that's the purpose of the sealant. Protection. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit about sealants in just a second, so you'll get a demonstration as well. So hang tight. All right, so here's kind of a quick and important public service announcement prior to showing you how sealants are done. Very, very, very important. Please, by all means, do not come in or have your child come in with, Subway sandwich stuck to all the teeth. It really makes it a lot more challenging, to do sealants when the conditions aren't quite right. So please make sure that the teeth are brushed before, your child or whomever's getting this, your teenager, whomever wants a sealant, is coming in, because otherwise, our sealant may not stick all that great. We may have to do a quick cleaning, and that might not be the best thing in the world. Some people do actually clean each tooth prior to receiving the sealant. Some don't. But if you have Subway lunch stuck to the tooth, it isn't very helpful. So step one: make sure that teeth are brushed and Subway is removed prior to us doing the sealant for you, your child, your teenager, whomever it is. All right, so once Subway is removed from the teeth, or whatever happens to be on the teeth is removed, everything is brushed and cleaned. The first step to doing a sealant is, of course, to isolate it. Now, we use cotton rolls, so for purposes of identification, we would put these cotton rolls on either side, on the bottom, and on one side, the cheek side on the top, to isolate the teeth, to keep them dry, because keeping the teeth dry is actually extremely important for sealants. So keep the teeth dry, and we apply something called an etchant. Now, we call it the blue gel. It can be blue, it can be green, it can be purple. I've seen all sorts of different colors. We apply the blue gel to the groove of the tooth. Now, this is for demonstration purposes only. This side of the tooth can be sealed. Of course, the other side is maybe slightly beyond being able to be sealed. It's had an encounter with foods other than just Subway. So we let that sit for about, usually about 20 seconds for enamel. It could be more, it depends. Then, once the 20 seconds is done, we go ahead and we rinse and dry. And rinsing and drying all the way up. So once that step's done and everything is dry, we then apply the sealant. In this case, I'm using a product called Voco, so we are using it now, and we're using it on these teeth. So you can see a dab, it's like a little white blob there, but we apply it into the groove. And then once that's done, we use our curing light and we set. Now it's typically 20 seconds per tooth. Again, everybody does things a little bit differently, but we usually do it 20 seconds per tooth. And you can see that now the grooves are sealed. So there you have it. All right, so that's the video on sealants. Hopefully you enjoyed it, hopefully it was helpful, and it gave you some idea of what they are and how they can be beneficial in preventing cavities, especially for kids whose adult teeth are just starting to move in and whose brushing habits, even though you're helping as parents, may not be quite the best in the world. So that said, any questions, please let me know. By all means, send me a message. Thank you again very much for joining me and watching this video and all of my other videos, and hopefully you're all staying well and healthy.